Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Hey, folks. Happy Wednesday. I'm Curtis Dvorak.
Okay, so we are a lot of animal lovers
Well, yeah,
around here.
of course.
So, of course, this story is right up your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Dogs.
although-
We prefer dogs,
You're
but this
more-
one's about cats.
you're
and
more
I
of
was a
dog
big
guy.
cat.
Okay, you were a big cat, so it's all coming
Yeah.
together just nicely.
Synergy.
Okay, so there's something that's gaining in popularity around the country, and they are called cat cafes.
And we're not kidding you.
I knew he was going to like that one.
You see what I did there?
It was
You like
very,
that?
very
You like
punny,
that?
very
and
punny.
as you're about
See
to
what I
see, the
did there?
cafe
Yeah.
also doubles as a feline adoption center. Check this out.
At this coffee shop, a seat is never guaranteed, and tips are preferred in catnip. Cat cafes our trend entrepreneurs have pounced on.
There's about 40 in the United States right now. We're very excited to be one of them.
At McTabby in Charlotte, North Carolina, you can grab a coffee and play with kittens for $12 an hour. Outside of cafe hours, yogis gather to do a little downward-facing dog
Mimicking our little friends here today.
with upward-facing cats.
I mean, way back from the Egyptians, how they worshipped cats, we're still pretty much doing the same thing. And now we just give them somewhere to do it.
And here, curiosity doesn't kill the cat, it saves him.
This space is a great place to just hang out with some cats for about an hour at a time, but it's about more than feline hang time. The main mission here is to find all of these cats a forever home.
Cafe time gives patrons the chance to fall in love with a cat, or two, and after the application process, a hopeful pet parent can welcome their new family.
You ready to go home?
In the few weeks that McTabby has been open, 25 cats have been adopted,
It's averaging about one adoption per business day that we're seeing.
making cat cafes a foster home for rescue animals, a watering hole for feline fanatics, and a good place for a cat nap. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
I would do that in a heartbeat. I would. And my
I like that
problem
part.
is that I would go and I would walk out with a cat every single time I went to get a cup of coffee. I have cats everywhere.
I wouldn't. I'm not a cat person, and it's ironic because I was a big cat, but I just I don't know. The cats as long as the litter box and all that stuff isn't in the cafe as well, you know.
Yeah.
But I do love what they're doing. Getting those cats adopted, that's a great way to do
They
that.
could do that same philosophy with dogs too.
Yeah,
If they wanted
yeah.
to, if they wanted to have, because the fosters, that's so important, by the way. If you want to be a foster, you
Yes.
can go to Animal Care and Protective Services. You can sign
Helps
up. You
them
can.
out so much.
Oh yeah, they do great things, and you can foster puppies and kittens. But that would be a good concept for the dogs. Then you could foster the dogs.
Yeah.
At the establishment, and then hopefully.
Yeah, they use them
find
at the
some
colleges
programs.
for emotional support. You
And
know,
they do.
They use dogs and stuff during study, halls and all that. So
However to get the dogs and cats home.
get them their forever homes.
When you think of service animals, you usually think of dogs.
Right.
They come to mind. And
Even a
airlines
cat.
have been lenient in the past, allowing service animals to travel with their human companions. But one woman may have taken things just a little bit too far recently at Newark Airport.
Yeah, her emotional support peacock was banned from boarding a United Airlines flight. Imagine that. In a statement, the airline says the peacock did not meet guidelines for a number of reasons because clearly it can't fit in that baggage little box there, including its weight and size. They added that they explained this to the customer on 3 separate occasions before they arrived at the airport. The woman offered to buy the bird its own plane ticket, but the airline refused. Yeah, emotional support peacock.
That would be hard to fit in the seat.
Yeah, look, I mean, peacocks they're not even warm and fuzzy and stuff. What emotional support are you getting from a peacock?
I'm not that familiar with peacocks.
I've seen the pigs. I've seen people bringing pigs on airlines. We had that story a while
I've
back.
seen
The old
that.
lady
Yeah,
was
not
told she
seen that, but seen stories of
can't
that.
bring the pig on there. But emotional support peacock, what if he opens up? What if it's like...
And then you got to buy 2 seats. So maybe you should just buy a whole row just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, and it's a bird. It's a bird. There's all kinds of stuff there. And you were told 3 times before you even got to the airport.
Yeah, not gonna. Well.
Anyway, all right, this is pretty cool. New Jersey bus driver got the surprise of his life. This diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan is going to the big game on Sunday thanks to some very generous parents.
So Mr. Gary has been on the route for years, picking up children. So they wanted to do something really, really nice for him. So the families got together, raised money for Mr. Gary to head to Minnesota for the big game. The woman who organized the whole thing says watching his reaction meant the world to her.
It was overwhelming. I'm even getting choked up now. Just seeing what this means to him, that we were able to come through.
I don't believe with mail order people
what the family's done for me. Go Birds, baby! Go Birds! Go Birds! Oh my God! Fly, Eagles, fly!
That's awesome. Mr. Gary attended the 1960 championship game with his father. And that was last time the Eagles won a title. That's pretty cool.
I think, are there a lot more people, do you find, that are cheering for the Eagles and the Patriots, or is it about?
Of course. Everybody hates the dynasty, and except their fans and stuff. It's a lot of people rooting for the Eagles, but I don't know, man. That's tough. You get handed a couple tickets to the Super Bowl right now. I mean, the cheapest ones, you go online, they're $2,500 a piece or so. You can make yourself $5K. We had this talk earlier, and people were like, "Oh, it's once in a lifetime," and maybe I don't think of it the same way because I've been to 4 of them. But I'm telling you, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's
being at the Super Bowl.
It's not. It's the longest game you'll ever sit through because there's more commercials, longer commercials. So every time the action gets going, it feels like 2 plays happen, and then you're waiting, and you don't get to see the commercials in the stadium.
That's an argument that a lot of people make about sports in general. A lot of times they're just better on TV.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got the camera, you're up close, and in this case, you get to watch the commercials because the commercials are
way better.
Sometimes why people watch the game to begin with.
Way better on TV, which of course you can watch it right here on NBC 12.
That's right.
Because it's Sunday at 6 p.m. Yeah.
That's right. Is it this Sunday, right?
This
right
Sunday,
around
6
the
p.m.
corner.
Yeah.
And you're going to watch?
I know. I have my DVR set I'll watch a little bit because I'll watch towards the end because This Is Us comes on right after it. And don't forget, folks, set your DVRs longer. Just in case the game runs long, set your DVR This Is Us longer. I already did that last night. Set it an hour extra, just so I don't miss any of it.
There you go.
But yeah, I'll be kicking everybody out of the room there. Get out. We're watching This Is Us.
Everyone, game is over.
Yeah.
Party out. Leave. Okay.
Yeah.
From one big game to a series of games being played, half a world away, the Winter Olympics kick off next week.
That's right. And men's bobsled senior pilot Nick Cunningham is going to be making his 3rd Olympic appearance. So here's his story.
Racing down the track, clocking in at 80 to 90 miles per hour. What sounds like a freight train zooming through is 32-year-old Nick Cunningham.
There's 5 Gs of force. You're going 80 plus miles an hour, sometimes into the 90s. The vibrations.
This 5'11" California native has his sights set on the Olympics. He's a sergeant in the New York National Guard, a former football and track and field star who always dreamed of being a U.S. Olympian. Bobsled was never part of his plan until one day he took a drive down a mountain out west.
My mom said the road looked like a bobsled track and that I was fast and should try out. And my dad's like, yeah, you should totally try out.
Nick says it all started as a family joke. 5 years later, he came here to Lake Placid for a tryout. 18 months after that, he went to the 2010 Olympic Games in Vancouver and was Olympic bound yet again in the 2014 Sochi Games.
I've always wanted to be a race car driver, so this is kind of my way to do it, and I can kind of put my passion for track and field and racing kind of together.
During our recent visit to Lake Placid, Nick was getting ready for the North America's Cup.
A lot of dedication, it's representing your country is never a sacrifice, but you do have to sacrifice a lot of things to be there. So, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes.
He says this is all a dream come true.
Pride you get from being able to just wear USA on a uniform, and that's what it says on my back, and to be able to have that next to my name is something I've wanted since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to represent the USA in competition, and I was going to find a way to do it.
Very cool. And actually, our Lou Turner was up in Lake Placid, and I'm pretty sure he has an interview and a story with Nick coming up as well.
What's funny is what you were saying while that story was airing, that he went to Lake Placid and did a lot of the winter sports. You are previewing Olympic sports in Florida.
Yeah, I got to try out some winter sports, but I have to stay in Florida. So we're going to see those coming up during the Olympics, which you can watch right here on NBC 12. It all starts on February 8th, and we'll have great shows for you throughout it, and I'll be in each of those trying out some Olympic sports and having some fun.
Figure skating, that one sounds fascinating.
Figure skating, I learned today, yes.
That sounds like that's going to be an adventure,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
wardrobe will probably be unmistakable. Cool.